Welcome everyone to this press conference with Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand. Bienvenue aujourd'hui à cette conférence de presse avec le ministre des Affaires étrangères, Anita Anand. We'll begin with opening remarks and go to questions. On va débuter avec un discours et ensuite passer aux questions. The floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup et bonjour tout le monde. Je suis ici pour le sommet de l'OTAN et je voudrais mentionner que nous sommes ici comme pays fort et nous continuons de pousser nos intérêts domestiques et dans le et nous sommes ici pour First of all, yesterday was a very good day for Canada and the Canadian economy as we finalized and signed the agreement between Canada and the EU with the Security and Defence Partnership. This is good news. Why? Because it is going to open up supply chains for Canadian businesses and in particular those in the security and defence industries. Canadian businesses are going to be able to operate on par with European businesses in the defense industry. We've set out a framework and additional work that is going to be done between the two countries and businesses amongst the two regions or jurisdictions, I should say, will continue. Second is NATO. This is the first day of the NATO Summit. Of course, everyone is gathering here, and Canada is here to represent multilateralism over unilateralism. We represent cooperation over protectionism. We stand for the rules-based international order that has kept us all safe since the end of the Second World War, and we will be here to voice our support for Ukraine in the short and long term. Then finally, our support in the Middle East. We will see a flight, chartered flight, leaving the region with over 100 people on board this evening. We are also assisting our allies in the region if their citizens need assistance. And I will say that we've helped over 500 Canadians in the region as a whole. So this work continues. We've deployed additional consular services throughout the region, throughout the border areas, and we will continue to be there to support Canadians and to advocate and ensure, to the best of our abilities, the safety and security of that region as a whole. We do urge all Canadians to register with Global Affairs Canada. Donc, avec ça, je peux recevoir vos questions. Merci.
Great, thank you, Minister. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function. Si vous avez une question, utilisez le bouton lever la main. One question, one follow-up, une question, une suivi. We'll start with Mike Blanchfield from Politico. Mike, can you hear us?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Good morning, Minister. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. Mentioning a moment ago that we're using diplomacy on the world stage to foster our economic interests. In light of that, you had a conversation with the Iranian foreign minister the other day, and Donald Trump is on his way to the summit tonight with his entourage. What is it that your government needs to know from them about what's going on in Iran and the future impact that may have, given that events are happening so quickly? And are you going to be speaking to the Iranians or the Israelis again anytime soon?
So there's a lot in that question, Mike, but let me just take it bit by bit. First of all, my conversation with the Iranian foreign minister was very much to first indicate the need for the safety and security of Canadians in Iran. Second, to urge for a diplomatic and peaceful resolution to the conflict and a return to the negotiating table. And third, to advocate the importance of PS 752 and the victims of PS 752. It is not a regular occurrence for the Foreign Minister of Canada to speak with the foreign minister. The global stage. It is not limited to advocating for Canadian economic interest. It is to utilize our diplomacy to stand for Canadian values, one of which is global peace, one of which is the protection of civilians, and one of which is the augmentation of our domestic interests, our domestic economies, by fostering diplomatic relationships and building on our relationships with our allies and partners globally. You know, Canada, it is often said, and truthfully, is the only G7 country that has a free trade agreement with means that we have to utilize those agreements and beyond so that we are never again 80% dependent on one economy, that being the United States. And so we have a lot of work in front of us diplomatically, but that sets out the frame within which we are operating and in which our diplomatic relationships will continue. Thank you.
Mike, do you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, maybe if you can, the second part of my question, I know it was a bit long, on what do you need to know tonight from the Americans, given that they're in the middle of everything that's going on in the world that affects Canada?
So I and my team are in close touch with Secretary Rubio and his team, and I know at the Prime Minister as well as to ensure that we are all playing our respective parts for the benefit of global safety and security. Let's remember why NATO was founded. It was founded in order to enhance the protection of the North Atlantic, but that objective has increased to reach farther geographical areas, given that global conflicts do now exist beyond the European borders. We think about the Arctic, we think about the North American continent, and we think about the Canadian population when we are here at NATO to represent Canada and also to ensure that we're doing what is necessary for the defense and security of our own country. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go to David Baxter with the Canadian Press.
There we go. Can you hear me now, Minister?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Yeah, no, you said the Canadian team will be talking with Trump and his folk later tonight. But we have seen Trump pushing back against Israel striking Iran after the ceasefire. So just what has Canada heard on this? And does Canada have any evidence or intelligence that Iran struck Israel first?
So Prime Minister Carney and I and our broader team and officials are continuously in dialogue with each other and our allies and counterparts about the very volatile situation in the Middle East. The news of a ceasefire was very good news, and we want to urge parties to seize this moment, to return to the negotiating table, and to have a conversation about a necessary topic, which is that Iran cannot have nuclear capacity, and there must be transparency and verifiability in that proposition. In addition, the events that are reported to have unfolded after the ceasefire are ones that do remain to be verified, and therefore I will refrain from commenting on them any further. But again, Canada's position is that parties need to return to the negotiating table, need to ensure that there is a diplomatic resolution, need to ensure that Iran does not have nuclear capabilities. We need safety and security in the region, and as I said, we urge Canadians to register with Global Affairs Canada because we are pushing resources into that area for the safety and security of Canadians. We have land transport going, we have air transport available. We are helping with consular officials at many borders, including Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, and Jordan, to name a few. So we are there, Global Affairs Canada, to do what we can do for the safety and security of Canadians in the region, but we do urge parties to get to the negotiating table where the conversation about a resolution can be had and finalized.
Yes, I wanted to go back to getting people out of the Middle East. You mentioned earlier that there was the first charter flight with over 100 people was leaving the area either today or has already left. But you did mention that Canadian resources are available to help get allied nations people out of the region as well. Is that just kind of like a way of saying that there has been too much uptick or interest on flights at this point from those other 400 or so other people in the region that haven't taken this flight offer?
No, the proportion of citizens from other countries that are requesting help is minimal compared to the number of Canadians. But if there is a request, say from Australia or Spain, we will accommodate those individuals because that is what those countries have done for Canadians in the past, and we are in favor of supporting the safety and security of civilians overall. But the number of requests we're getting from other countries versus from Canadians is quite minimal, I will say. But Canada is always there to help. Our view is that over the past decades, Iran has been developing its nuclear capacity. Our view is that this increases regional instability and undermines the safety and security of the region as a whole. Our view.
Welcome everyone to this press conference.
Individuals, because that is what those countries have done for Canadians in the past, and our view is that over the past decades, Iran has been developing
with the
minimal, I will say, but Canada is always there to help. That is one of our signature characteristics as a country. We stand for peace and security, and we are very good neighbors.
We will now go to Stuart Benson with the Hill Times.
Hi there. Sorry, I have just the one question. You repeatedly said that Iran cannot have nuclear capacity, but given both the IAEA assessments and the U.S. intelligence assessments found that no evidence that Iran was working towards a nuclear weapon, is it Canada's position that Iran's civilian nuclear program it cannot have that as well, and that's what justified these strikes?
Our view is that over the past decades, Iran has been developing its nuclear capacity. Our view is that this increases regional instability and undermines the safety and security of the region as a whole. Our view is that Iran has been calling for the destruction of one country in particular, and that is Israel, which is unacceptable. And our view is that the appropriate way to deal with this situation is for parties to return to the negotiating table to ensure that there is not nuclear proliferation and that there is transparency and verifiability in that fact.
Okay, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function. S'il vous plaît, utilisez le lever la main si vous avez une question. We'll go back to Mike Blanchfield at Politico.
Yeah, hi, Minister. On NATO and getting to the new target that will be proposed, you said this morning that you think a re-examination of the timeline of it is appropriate. So I'm wondering if you could elaborate on that, especially in light of your department officials a few days ago when they briefed us seemed to indicate that the 1.5% of the new target, the industrial infrastructure component, that they seem to be indicating that Canada might already be there. We might already have that covered with other stuff that we're doing. So are we looking at really maybe another 1.5%? And what's your message to the Canadian people who will be seeing this as a competing priority now that you're the foreign minister?
Well, my first message to the Canadian people is that we heard you and we heard your support for Canada achieving the 2% target. And we will do that within a year, further to the announcement by Prime Minister Carney that will occur. That is a significant milestone, given the number of conversations that have occurred in our country over the past number of years for Canada to reach the 2%. And I will say that it is incumbent upon us all to view achieving the 2% as beneficial not only for Canada as a NATO founding member, but also for the safety and security of Canada as a whole. Let's remember that this increase in defense spending is going to augment Canada's safety. We are going to see that our Arctic is a priority. We're going to see that increasing supports for the Canadian Armed Forces, as well as defense capabilities, are number one priorities. So this is good news for Canada. Now, your question went, well, what happens over and above the 2% that Canada has committed to? And that's the conversation that leaders are here today and tomorrow to have. It's not only a question of the amount, whether it is an additional 1.5% or an additional 3% overall. It's also a question of how you break it down. Will there be flexibility in about 1.5%? Will there be a mandatory percentage increase at certain points in time? Will there be increases incrementally? And will there be a review after certain timelines, say in 2029, which is one of the dates that is being floated? So, Mike, it would be imprudent for me to opine on Canada's position prior to the conversation that the leaders of the NATO countries are going to have over the next 2 days. Let's let that conversation unfold, and let's then, as a country, ensure that Canada is on the track that best serves Canadian taxpayers, that best serves the Canadian people, and best serves the obligations that we have domestically and multilaterally as a member of NATO.
Am I getting a follow or am I on mute?
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for that, Minister. Prime Minister says we're in a crisis repeatedly. I think everyone acknowledges that. You've been a cabinet minister through the COVID crisis and had a key role there on vaccines and I guess many other things perhaps. What lesson are you drawing from that as you try to be Canada's top diplomat in this crisis right now?
After the Prime Minister, who is Canada's top diplomat, I represent Canada on the world stage. And the lessons that I draw from previous crises is that you have to be dogged and determined about analyzing the problem in front of you. I ask many questions when I'm being briefed, and I make sure that I have as much information possible in front of me in order to make sound decisions. I also pick up the phone and call people directly when I need information or when Canada needs to be well represented, or simply to get the views of our counterparts and allies and beyond. The examples are numerous, but if you take a look at our call log, and we do publish many of the calls that I have, you will see that I am extremely active globally in terms of being in touch with our allies, partners, and counterparts generally. And the reason for that is that diplomacy is not one and done. Diplomacy is a series of iterative conversations in order to advance Canada's needs and values on the global stage. Our needs economically, our needs diplomatically, and our interests in terms of global peace and security and the protection of civilians. That's generally my approach. And as I said, it's dogged and determined.
Okay, we only have one last question. Do you have time for one more?
Unfortunately, I think we have to wrap this one up.
Let's do one more.
Okay, we'll do one more.
I don't know who it is, but let's do one more.
Okay, so David Baxter, Canadian Press, final question.
No, thanks for taking the question, Minister. And just looking outside the immediacy of NATO and the situation in the Middle East, India, another area where Canada is having renewed diplomatic ties here, looking at appointing a new High Commissioner. When can we expect to see someone named, especially we've seen recently Premier Scott Moe and Danielle Smith floating Brad Wall as a potential High Commissioner. So when will Canada be selecting that new High Commissioner for India?
Okay, so thanks for that question. Let's just take a step back, as I always do, to make sure that we recognize that this is a relationship that really needs to be grounded in Canada's priorities, which include, at the top, the rule of law. And when I say the rule of law, I don't just mean the respect for laws. When I say the rule of law, I mean adherence to the institutions that promote and support our democracy. Those institutions include the RCMP and courts in this country, both of which are independent of the Government of Canada. So against that backdrop, the backdrop being the adherence and support for the rule of law at all times, we will take this relationship step by step within the context of the law enforcement dialogue that is occurring at the level of those independent organizations. In terms of your precise question, therefore, the appointment of high commissioners or additional steps that will be taken to re-engage this relationship will be forthcoming, but this is a step-by-step approach, and the conversation exists not just at my level, but also at the Prime Minister's level. So again, we have completed the G7 last week. We're in the middle of the NATO Summit, coming on the heels of the EU-Canada Summit yesterday. we are taking this step by step, and right now our focus is on the NATO Summit, standing for multilateralism, working with our allies and partners, certainly as a founding member of NATO, to ensure that we're representing Canada to the very best of our ability, the very best
the best
people in the world.
We're
representing you to the very best of our ability on the world stage. That's the priority today and tomorrow, and then we'll go back to the drawing board and see
I'm playing with the mic.
Points that you mentioned.
Okay. Minister, that concludes the press conference today. Thank you again. Ceci conclut la conférence de presse. Merci.
Hello, everybody. This is next. We're going to go. This to the Prime Ministers. I have a here. I'll turn down the volume a little bit, or just maybe not yell into the microphone. The Prime Ministers are meeting everywhere, having dinner. They're meeting with the Mark Carney met with the Nordic leaders. I'm just pulling it up. Here, I got myself in my ear. Let me turn that down. It is a heat wave in Niagara Falls. So it's like one of the best days to be in Niagara Falls. The mist is coming. It smells so fresh, clean Canadian waters. And the mist just keeps you nice and cool. It makes it perfect along the walk, along the falls. And then there's some nice... Table Rock is the place to be today. All right, so I'm going to go... We're going to go see a little bit of live NATO. NATO is alive. We have a bunch of wonderful leaders coming. Let me pull up this page. It's not easy to find. Very, very hidden. Oh, I didn't want audio. No audio. We want video. And we got some live stream. Arrivals of the heads of state. Very nice heads. Who's this? We don't know. I don't know yet. There we go. So they go up the stairs. They've arrived. Here there is an announcer you don't have a really great mic pickup here, microphone pickup from Edouden. Sorry, I don't speak Dutch. It's a very good language. This is now, look, what is he driving? What is that vehicle? Oh, it's an Audi. Oh, it's just all black. So they arrive. They get the doors open for them with a nice stocking people. Lots of police. No protesters. This looks like the minister from Japan, I think. I think it's him. I don't know. I'm sorry. You don't want to pull a Biden at this point, so he hands off the papers to his very diligent secretary. Elaudenstadt. Sounds very German. It's a very, like, kind of a Germanic language. Oh, come on. She's like, come on. Holy, this guy's a short one. He's like, how the hell did I fit in the car? You know. The bear comes in with his wife. He was not very comfortable in there. You can see he's like trying to loosen up from being crunched in the back of the seat of the car. So they're probably waiting somewhere, and they're pulling them up for this ceremony. It's a obvious ceremony, and it makes the wives feel wife and the leaders or husband. She had lots of room, and they're Audi. And her spouse, no spouse. Some bring spouses. Some spouses are like, forget it. This is live in the Hague. Hague is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Here, sorry, I'll put it onto a better mode. I wish I could give you the best. But I will give you a better. Here we go. That's the best. I'll watch it. No spouse here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Someone kicked the camera. Look at that beautiful building. It's very, I would call it a modest, with a, you know what I mean, modest and beautiful, you know, modest royalty. A little quick fact, the monarchy of Holland is the reason why we have orange carrots. So they did don't mess with her, she's got a shiny sword. She's the one who sang the Op de Paas Rust. Okay, so she's ordering everyone to rest. Op de Plaats Rust. So so anyway, back to the medieval times. They decided, the monarchy was like, hey, we need some orange food on our plates because this is just not right. They are the monarchy of orange. Their color is orange. If anyone watches European soccer, they're orange for this. Holland is orange for this reason. Not like the welcome sign, which is very. People don't like that the Holland sign is used with the welcome on it. It's kind of rude. I read it somewhere. So it was orange. So they put out this competition. All the farmers from all the lands were said, okay, you will get some kind of prize if you make orange food. Besides oranges, of course, as they cannot be grown in Holland. So one guy made of an orange carrot, and you know, through natural selection or whatever, what have you, science of the medieval days, and voila, we have orange food of a carrot. And it's basically the only orange food that I can think of that's, well, besides, I guess, orange tomatoes now. Yeah, I guess orange tomatoes, a lot of orange tomatoes. I guess gourd on the inside. But anyway, this is back in the day. And they made carrots. So carrots were white previously. So if anyone is really interested, done. Okay, that's great. Good for you. See you later. Oh, we're inside. Look at this. Stated beauty. I don't know. They're ministers. I guess that's their thing. Very, very elegant place. Everyone's in their finest attire. They have servants with long stockings. I don't think they're called that anymore. Oh, and there's another guy. Oh, okay, the admiral. So all the king's horses and all the king's men are here to put NATO back together again. As, yes. It's really, really good. There's lots going on. The big issue today, it's a big issue, folks. Big issue. Okay, so it was, okay, 2.5% of GDP was the thing. Everybody signed, okay? That was back like 20 years ago. Canada by next year, as Anita Anand, foreign minister, just said. Look at, on a digression, look at how big those windows are. They're like from foot to ceiling. Like, you could see someone's toes right in the window. If they were like a monarchy, you could see their wonderful shoes that they're wearing. Obviously been remodeled, the building. Holland is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I have nothing but great respect for the very small country. I was just impressed at every moment I was there. Unbelievable. And it's not just the red light part. The beautiful thing is what they could do with the red light is what I agree with it is it basically contains and it puts folks who were like really don't give a, you know what I mean, into that area. But there's also families around there, like it really, I don't know. But the beautiful part of the country is so it keeps it cleaner. If you want to go be do shady things, there's a place. Go do it there. Don't do it everywhere else, right? So the one thing that I found most beautiful was this honor system. So the honor system was, I could not find. I bought a train ticket to go somewhere, and I could not for the life of me find a place to give my person or anything to give my ticket to, and I was upset. I'm like, I got my ticket. Who do I give it to? Where is the person? And no one took my ticket. A bunch of a few train runs, and no one took my ticket. I kept them, put them in my wallet. I saved them. I made sure I didn't throw them away. Remember, I was on a little vacation, so you know what I mean. It was arduous for me, and I like a tidy. I don't like anyway. We got helicopters flying overhead, and I was like, what the heck? And finally, after, I don't know, the 10th, 12th, 15th, 30th, whatever, who knows, train ride, finally, some fella comes in, he looks like a cop, asks for my ticket, and he says it with his ticket, or whatever he said it with that accent, and I'm like, yes, finally, here, I got all these tickets, man. I'm like, why won't you do it? He says, well, it costs too much money to stop, and it costs, actually, I think he said time, and money he brought in later as I brought it up. But he says it costs too much time to stop the train and take everyone's ticket. He says the train run, and like he says it makes so much sense. He's like, the train runs whether we have 5 people on or we have 500 people on. The train runs. So, and I'll tell you, their trains were on time and they left. And he said, he goes, most people, the honest people, and I would consider myself one, the honest people will buy the ticket. If you're like, for whatever reason, the train is there, and you're and you like just hop on the train without, or you know what I mean, you need a bank machine or something, and you don't have the cash to buy the ticket, or whatever, right? Whatever. Or you're a shyster, you get a fine. There's no jail. There's just a fine that this officer type individual guy gives. So here's some more stocking guys. They're nice, very nice attire. I don't want to call them servant. I don't know. Google the name. Okay. Laozu. I'm going to give you Laozu. So there's a wonderful thing about Holland. I thought it was a beautiful country, very well ordered, very, very clean. People didn't throw their refuse anywhere. Not like we do that here anymore. And the flower markets. And I'm not like, well, I guess as you get older, you like plants more. I don't know. I like plants more. And I respect the flowers more. And they had beautiful, huge flower market in every town. It wasn't just the, you know, like the main cities, you know, Amsterdam, whatever. And as you can see, look at the great manicured place. This guy, get me out of this car. It's hot in here. He's a mover. And he's fully aware of what's going on. See the head nod? I respect the guy who head nods. Highly respect. He's a mover. He's not doing a casual thing. Idale Stadt. She's ordering other folks to relax their swords. All right. Oh, okay. See, here we go. Here we're going to have a little bit. They're a little bit more aged. Oh, it's Vanderlei, the EU leader, and her 2IC, I guess I would call them. She's more into the camera scene with her teal purse, or what is that? I don't know, a shawl. Don't slip. As you can see, the runners. This is a thing that you'd never seen them in Canada. If you look at the stairs, there's this brass bar that goes across because the carpet isn't normally there, and it's just a regular carpet that they slap over top. So they have these brass bars to hold it in place. Now and they spin. The brass bar spins, so it kind of, if you overstep on those brass bars, it can spin. This guy is not very comfortable with all the cameras and the lights. And you can tell he's kind of walking oddly. He's not, I don't know who they is, I'm sorry. eat that. Oh, this one's moving fast. Oh, no, it's security. Oh. I think that guy was the guy from Ireland. He looked like Irish. This guy's like, please don't run on my toes again. I imagine they're also double as security, not just door guys. Well, this guy, yeah. He's very happy. Oh, planes in the air. They're both soaking it all in. Not noticing the cameras. No head nod. These nice swordsmen. He hasn't stopped. So she's commanding the people around. And it looks like we're going to have another switcheroo of the... I can't think of another name besides servant. And I mean it with respect. It's, hey, this stuff is good. Hey, you know, that's your guy. This is a decent job. I've done a lot worse jobs. Picking out rotten fruit was not as much fun. Oh, okay, they get a break, these guys. Nice, with their clicky shoes. I wonder if there's a penny in there. No pennies. So they come in twos. Do the cops, look at how relaxed they are. Oh, they're saluting. They're saluting. I don't know, were they saluting before? Oh, so they come in two. So someone else comes, I guess the second car is their detail. This guy's a mover. Spain? Is this a Spanish guy? I think so, yeah, it's a guy from Spain. He's not adding any more money. He said there's a little bit of issue. They're like, yeah, you guys don't walk on the red carpet. Yeah, that's like his security or aides or something. His people. The choppers are flying ahead. They're not messing around with the security here. It would be a very, very bad... If this were to have anything happen to it, oh my God. It would be... there would be a lot of problems for the little people, you know. Every single little person in the world, you know. She's like, I'm going to get a little closer. The guy on the left is one saying, these shoes, I'm not sure how comfortable they are. Hey, at least they're not wooden, as many Dutch people had wooden shoes. She's concerned. Oh, that was close. She was close. Belgium. Okay, so this is the Belgium. Mark Carney met him yesterday. And he's like, where do I go? He's like, just follow the red carpet, man. Yes. Sorry, I don't mean to make jests. You know, hey, careful of those runners. These people are from Europe. They know what a runner is. Those runners spin, and they will make you pull a Biden. I'm not to make fun of Biden. I thought Biden was a good president, outstanding. He did some things that totally disagree with politically. But I am not the normal, I don't know where this guy's from, the normal Trump supporter who thinks everything Democrat is bad. I don't agree. I think the Democrats went very bad with playing with genders. They were trying to help one group, which I commend, but they did it at I don't know. It didn't work out very well. Well, this is like, yo, man. He overstepped the red mark. Oh, here we go. Viktor Orban, Hungary. Viktor Orban. They were like flying in the car with him. No wife. Viktor Orban. Hungary is one of the most. He is like the most Catholic of Catholics. He's made his country. He fought the EU, and he basically is the last man standing and winning, because now the EU is going right. And he's rubbing their noses in it. I would not want to get in an argument with him, especially in a private room. I don't think you'd make it out. Yeah, respect for Viktor Orban. he does some harsh things that you just couldn't get away with here. But, you know, he's the leader of that country. Just like Erdogan of Turkey, he does some things that you just could not do here, nor would I want. But they have different problems and different issues and a different society in there. So you have to respect that, you know, it's not a global world. There are different people around the world, and respect that they're ruling their people, not our people. And, you know, Holland is a very good government system. They basically are more collaborative. It's similar to ours, but much more collaborative. Their governments fall fairly easily, but it's like a hodgepodge, and they work together. And it's done a very good job. I believe it's one of the best countries in the world. Is an example for the world. It's a very low. Trying to look for the word. Low stated building, but it's very elegant in its thing. I think that's a ship that's shiny on the top. Respect the USA. Oh, mother. Well, Iran didn't respect them. I think that they are now. I feel that Trump is basically. Trump was very upset earlier. He swore. I could read his thing. But he basically said, flip and flip and flip and flip. If you guys start going to war over this tit-for-tat thing, I'm going to be really mad. Flip and flip and flip it. Swearing earlier. I can pull up the clip, but basically we all know what he said. He basically said, simmer down, or I'm going to... And he went against Israel, too. He told Israel Netanyahu, he says, like, you also... He went after them first in the comments, and then he said with Iran, because this is apparently an attack happened 3 hours afterwards. But since then, it's been basically, they're like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, it could have been orders that happened. Who knows exactly? But everyone hopes that the 12-day war is over. It's done. The mission accomplished for Israel. Israel should be calming down. I believe they should calm down right now, but that's hard. Like, I believe it will be hard, even for their prime minister, who, you know what I mean, who should be the epitome of cold water. Got heated. The country was boiling. They fought everybody. They fought everybody except Turkey, right, in their whole region, and Saudi Arabia, of course, and Jordan and UAE. But they fought a lot of people, okay? They were fighting in Gaza after October 7th. The people were, the only word I can call it is incensed. They were incensed with righteous anger, and in any democracy, they had to act the way they did. People are like, well, why would they do it? Well, they had their captives. They had captives. So they went against Hamas. And Hamas is, I don't know how there's any structure left, to be honest. And then the Houthis, America really did them in, but they were attacking them from the missiles. And Hezbollah is basically like, we are not messing with you anymore. At the same time, Syria, through Turkey, through assistance, unknown assistance. That's like, who knows if this is true or not. But I believe that the new guy in there, and that last surge was from a Turkeyan special forces elites assistance. But no one knows if that's true, so, you know, you can't take that to the bank. But Syria has been calm. There's been some atrocities, but it's been fairly calm. Charlie's getting close, the chopper. And so they were there. And then the last people left was Iran and their nuclear plan that was threatening every day, putting out protests and saying death to America, death to Israel. And that's just, you know, at the same time that 60%. Everyone says, oh, well, 60%. There was a couple journalists saying, well, they were for commercial purposes. Well, there's no need. 60% is actually in between, but it's beyond what you use for commercial. Poland. There's a Polish leader. PL01. So they each get their own car. He's in a Mercedes. This is a nice car. I like it. Better. The Audi was nice. A little bit too unstated for me. I like the extra chrome finishing. She's a mover. Wow, she's a brisk walker. Strong wife, nice. And so they were threatening. So 60%. It's in the middle of, like, it's on the way to a bomb, to a weapon. It's beyond what you need for commercial. So there's no other use for it. Okay, so there's a possibility that they got some of it out in trucks. But the Israelis had enough of it. Oh, here we go, Mark Carney. He's in a nice vehicle. What is that, a Renault? I didn't see it. And his wife. Carney's got a nice swagger. Oh, nice man, good man. He nodded the camera. He knows what he's doing. Don't walk on those runners. That'll you'll pull a bite. And I'm sorry to be calling it that, but he fell up the stairs. Bash your shin open. Yeah, that was good. Carney did it good. They did it at a good pace. He's a good statesman. I'll give him that. Now, who is this? I'm sorry, I do not know. I should know them all. He looks like the leader from Finland, but I thought he was tall. No, it's not. They're very Christian. She has a nice necklace. She's a priest? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's just the outfit. But it's a very nice cross she was wearing. Definitely from a Bulgarian cross, I think it was. So I would assume. I don't know. I'm not going to make assumptions here. I'm already. Okay. I wish they would get the car rolling up. But sometimes the timing. Oh, they overstepped. There we go. We know who this is. And he's wearing a suit ever since the White House incident. At least it's an all-black suit. But it's no more war outfit. And there's I noticed that woman that was in the corner was, I think she's the one from Bulgaria. Or is that one of his assistants? That's the word, assistants. Oh, yeah, so he's wearing a suit after, hey, Trump's here. Don't mess around. Do not mess around and not be at least in a jacket. Oh, I recognize her. The Danish, they are not happy with Trump. They are very upset with Trump. She's got very, I don't know, I think it's snake skin pants. So she's going to be a snake on Trump. She's got to be strong on Trump because, you know, it must be a very big cost burden to the Danes to have Greenland, I believe. I honestly am not fully aware of it. But I do know I love a Danish. A Danish is one of the best treats known to man. The Danes are a very tall people, and they eat a lot of herring. That's all I don't know much about the country. They did smile a lot when I met them overseas, but they were all military members, so I give them, Germany, Merz! I like this guy. He was an investor guy. Him and Angela Merkel had it out, and she won, and he stormed out like a bat out of hell. Look, respect. Oh yeah, the assistants got his respect. Are we going to get the head nod? No head nod. But that was good. He gave a lot of respect to the guy who was his. And look at him up those stairs like a speed. Merz is an outstanding chancellor of Germany. I really think Germany is back, and not in a bad way. You know, none of that crap. I think he's a good Christian leader. I got astounded by the beauty there for a second. It is. Look at how clean. Look at that nice, very level parkade, I guess. Seems to be a pattern. Okay, they're like, what's going on here? Luckily and happily, they're in the shade, not beating in the sun. Now, Merz is an outstanding leader. He's basically put Germany on the map. They're pretty close. This car, I hope he doesn't hurt any toes. The one on the right should have like a little standing spot there. UK, here we go. Starmer. You can't say Starmer's name. I can't say Starmer's name without saying it a little bit in vain, and I don't mean it in any other way, but just fun. Starmer. No wife. His wife is actually an outstanding individual. She works for the acronym, the hospital system. And, you know, he's kind of blue-collar, don't walk on those runners. So you look at these people. They all know. Don't overstep a stair. That's Europeans know. They just know. Danger. Balls of your feet and no more. Those runners are dangerous. Okay, we got, I don't know, Australia or New Zealand? I'm sorry. Oh, no, Italy. Italy. So here we go. And the husband is there. Holy, those. Oh, she ain't no husband. She doesn't look so happy. No happiness. She's upset. She smiled at the camera. A little cranky. Oh, she's more petite than she looks on. I guess it's her larger-than-life look. Very Italian high-end shoes. Italy, right? Holy crap. I don't know shoes, but I can tell that those shoes are fancy-pantsy. Again, Merz was the nicest to these assistants. Gave him a little bit of a talking. The one guy was like, where do I go? He's like, follow the red carpet. Look at that nice promenade-type trees. Holland, I tell you. They have like these buildings surrounded by trees. Always. It's like a thing. The land of the flower. I don't know about you people. I'm having fun with this. Oh, here we got. You hear about 2018 Toronto Danforth? No, I didn't. I don't know about any of that. They had Canadians. I don't know what you're talking about, Bissonnette. To be honest, oh, is this? Am I talking? Oh, wow. It's very, 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 very quiet. I got to turn my mic up a little bit. This is a... Okay, I'll put up some comments to basically cover that. I think you're just talking Sam Cooper. What about him? Oh, you did a story on it. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, here we are. We're inside. In the house. In the house. H-A-U-S. That's nice. I don't think there's going to be any of that stuff here. We're actually in a time of peace amongst our protesting folk. Oh, okay. So who's this? Oh, I guess that's the king. The king of Holland. He looks very Dutch, and his wife has obviously a designer dress, and maybe that's their daughter. That's who it must be. Because they all look very Dutch. Oh, that has to be. So I'm going to have to Google this now. I'm yelling in the camera. Sorry. They're a very good monarch, to be honest. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's definitely it. That's the case. Okay, so let's look up the monarch of Holland. Of course I should know this. And definitely, look at how tall they are, eh? they're just very. Monarch of Holland. Going to give a little bit of a little refresher here. King Willem Alexander. Oh, nice name too, eh? The current monarch of the Netherlands, is Willem Alexander. There he is, Willem Alexander. Everyone likes that name. I do. I don't care about anyone else. And that's definitely his wife. He ascended the throne on April 30th, 2013, succeeding his mother, Queen Beatrix. Oh, Queen Beatrix. See, they got some good names over there. That monarch, I like their name, Beatrix. He is married to Queen Maxima. Oh, Maxima. They have 3 daughters, Princess Katharina, Amalia. Ooh, that's nice. Princess of Orange. See, Orange, eh? Alexia and Ariane. Oh wow. They don't have Alexia and Ariane. They sound almost like twins. So I believe that's the Princess Maxima. She is, yeah, that's him. King Wilhelm Alexander. Yeah, they're nice. They're good. And there's their family. Oh my gosh. The other 2 are like, I don't know. They're like, it's like a model family. This is, you know, they're not supposed to get everything. You know, like, come on. The heck. But they did. The House of Orange Nassau explained here. Hello. All you need to know about the House of Orange, from King Wilhelm to Queen Juliana. Ever since the Kingdom of Netherlands came into, this is from an article from Hello Magazine. Netherlands came into being in 2015, following the defeat of Napoleon. There has always been a monarch. Of course, they're quiet and they're nice. However, where the kingdom differentiates from many other ruling houses is in how many monarchs have abdicated as opposed to dying while on the throne. See? They're not all about the power. They're like, you know what? You take over now. It's all right. Netherlands is governed by the House of Orange Nassau. Nassau is a place, another place, which can trace its roots back to 1544. While the UK's House of Windsor incorporates many distinct family members, the Royal House of Netherlands only consists of the monarch. Any living former monarch, those in line to the throne not removed from the monarch, to the 2 degrees of consanguinity, Princess Marguerite and King's aunt, and the spouses of those mentioned above. Okay, let's see. Look at these. There they go. So Queen Juliana, Prince Bernard, 2014. These are the previous. There's a whole bunch of them. Alexia and Ariane, they look like they're like from like they're like Hollywood stars. And Katharina Amalia, as you can see her now, like it's not fair. It's not fair to us poor people, you know. They're supposed to be like, you know, not overly good-looking people. This is just nastiness. Queen Beatrix, she's still kicking. Queen Beatrix ascended the throne on the 30th of April, 1980, following the decision of her mother, Queen Juliana, to abdicate. Like the rest of her family, Beatrix, I like that, Beatrix was evacuated from the Netherlands during World War II, returning only to the country once the war had been won. Beatrix's engagement to Claus von Amsberg caused controversy due to his early involvement. I'm going to go into that. But he was early involvement. Beatrix and Claus remained married into the prince's consort. Oh, he died in 2002. She's still alive, very healthy. There's a pictures of her. She looks surprisingly healthy. Beatrix and other senior members of the royal family were, oh my God. There were an attack in 2019. Wow, that's awful. I don't want to go into that. Prince Marguerite, Princess Christina. Oh, she passed. Okay, King Willem Alexander was born in 1967. He's got lots of medals. Okay, born in April 27th, 1967. Willem, W-I-L-L-E-M, Willem Alexander, is the current monarch of the Netherlands and head of the House of Orange-Nassau after ascending to the throne following Beatrix's abdication on the 30th of April 2013. At the time of his birth, he was the first male to have been born in the Royal Dutch family since 1851. Holy schmoly! So he's the first of the males. Ahead of his royal duties, Willem Alexander had a keen interest in sports and was a member of International Olympic Committee from 1998 up until he inherited the throne. On the 2nd of February 2002, he married Queen Maxima. I love that name. That's like a name for a queen, eh? Really? Like, come on. Queen Maxima. With a pair having met in 1999 in the Seville Spring Fair. Oh, like Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Together, the pair are parents to 3 daughters, Princess Katharina Amalia, A-M-A-L-I-A, Amalia, Princess Alexia, A-L-X-I-A, and Princess Ariane, A-R-I-A-N-E, Ariane. All of their names. They got someone in there's helping them name them, because it's not a coincidence that they're all so nice. Prince Friso. That sounds so much fun. Okay, so Maxima Zurgeretta. Maxima is the current queen consort to the Netherlands. At the time of her meeting, Willem Alexander, who reportedly only introduced himself to her as Alexander to hide his royal identity. She worked in marketing. Oh, he picked a commoner. Can you say Princess Bride? As you wish. The pair engagement sparked controversy due to her family's role in the Argentina dictatorship, her father serving as agriculture secretary in the regime. Although Maximum was accepted into the royal family, her parents did not attend her wedding, and her father banned, and her mother refusing to attend without him. Oh, I don't know what happened with that. It's not very nice. Princess Laurentian. Princess Laurentian, geez, we're like all of them. Here we go. Here's the Princess Katharina Amalia. She's 19 feet tall, as you can see. December 2003. Oh, so she's very young. She's the current heir to the Dutch throne. Princess Katharina Amalia is the current heir. I guess the hyphen name, first name, is the way that they're going with their first names, which is nice. I like the hyphen first name. The last name, I don't know. I think it can get complicated once you get into 4 names. She is the oldest daughter of Willem, Alexander, and Maxima. The royal is currently studying for a PPLE degree. I have no idea what the hell that is. Oh, okay, here we go. Thank you. PPLE, which consists of politics, psychology, law, and economics. Oh, God, that's amazing. I want that degree. I want to go to school for that. PPLE. Politics, psychology, law, and economics. That's awesome. How do you be a good, advisor? That's what you do. You take that. Although she studies at the University of Amsterdam, she returned home due to security threats. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so this young one, the other one is Alexia. She's the second in line. She graduated from United World College of the Atlantic in Wales, a place that has taught several royals, including her father. 2006, she was she broke her right femur. During his skiing. Skiing is dangerous. She was airlifted. She's fine. And then here's the other one, Ariane, another youngie, 2007 born. Youngest child, third in line. Oh, she had a lung infection, but she was okay 3 days later. Oh my God. She previously studied at Christelijk Gymnasium Sorgvillet. However, she is currently studying at UWC Adriatic, an Italian school with only 180 pupils, which aims to build international relations. Holy crap, that's it. Now this one, ooh, Countess Eloise. She's got a picture of pictures. Oh my god. She knows how to take a picture. Oldest child of Prince Constantine and Princess Laurentian. Eloise is the fifth in line to the throne and currently studies at Hotel School in The Hague. Oh, so she's in there. The royal is also a published author, releasing Learned by Doing in 2021, which offers self-confidence tips. Nice. Insight to her home life and recipes that she enjoys cooking. Oh, so she's a modest monarch. We got this. We got a Count Claus Casimir. Like, come on, this is baloney. You can't have these names that are so good. Count Claus Casimir, not Casper, Casimir. M-I-R, K-A-S-I-M-I-R. 2004 born, March 21st. Claus Casimir is sixth in line to the throne and is currently studying at ESCP Business School. It appears that business runs through his family veins, with the royal launching of his own companies during his studies. Oh, yeah. British monarch King Charles, Claus Casimir is an alumni of Gordonstone. And then we got another princess, Countess Leonore. She's young. Oh, she has a broken arm. She's young. Okay, well, it's the seventh, so I'll just give a little bit. Born in the seventh in line to the Dutch throne, the youngest daughter of Prince Constantine and Princess Laurentian. She has followed her royal cousin's footsteps and is currently studying at UWC Atlantic College. So there we go. That is the monarch. I think that obviously they're not like a monarch that's in every day of life. Maybe we can get some quotes. Okay, so I've really digressed from what we were doing here. Who's this here? Who do we got? An L. Whoa, camera. Oh, Erdogan. Erdogan. Don't mess with the Turkey. It's Turkey now. It's no longer Turkey. He is a very firm leader of Turkey, a rising nation. Oh, he noticed the camera. Oh, and even waved. See? Presence. That's called presence. He has a presence, and he's. I don't know if he would like me to call it, but he has a nice slow walk, a schlepping. He's not walking on those runners. Those brass bars, and there are his assistants. He's been in power for a very, very, very long time, and basically he has that country. He's seen the rise of Turkey. Obviously, under the Ottoman Empire, they were a super-duper empire. And the Turk nations are kind of coming back. The Tartarish nations, or whatever have you. They're coming back. Is definitely the largest, besides American, military in NATO. Don't quote me exactly on that. They're huge. Don't talk. You're on camera. Are they flirting? She's smiling. She's happy. He's like, I like Erdogan. He's a good guy. He's like, I don't know about Erdogan. Okay. And as you see, the security seems to have dwindled or moved somewhere out of camera. He's like, I'm going over here. All right. You go over there. I'll stand right here. I'll have a smoke if I can. No, can't smoke. Damn it. Okay, we got some movement. Good to be a cop in Holland. They have like low crime rate. If you're getting too stressed, you go to the red light district, and there you go. Erdogan. Well, let's see. It's very, very noble family. Look at the smile on Maxima. I could tell you the color of that. And very nice. Not overly stated, but holy, you can tell that that jewelry is not cheap, and it looks old. Diamonds. Oh, look at that. They're happy. She just visited your country, she says. Very, very nice monarch. Hey, I believe the monarch can be the moral guide of a country, and sometimes the business guide. These two are definitely having drinks later. He's like, hey, you coming for drinks? She's like, yeah, of course, you know. You open the door very well. Yeah. You want to switch? Okay. Okay, I shouldn't be doing that. They are obviously not realizing that they're on camera. But no, it's a good monarch. They help keep people in line, giving a moral guidance, giving ceremony. I believe in ceremony. I believe ceremony is a way to... what's this? It's a way to provide stability. Greece won. I guess I should have known that. Oh, that's why he switched. Should give her the opportunity to open the door for the leaders. He's a nice guy. Oh, he's a mover. Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's nice. What? Watch it. No, watch that brass. It spins. He knows. Europeans, they know. Not one of them fell, so we're good. They're in the clear so far. No stumbles. It'll be most likely an American. Oh, they switched the swords, people. I don't know. The Dutch have a union in their military. I never even thought it would be possible, but they have a union. And they have, like, some of them had, like, long hair. I seen this one lady. She had very long, elegant hair. And I was like, how is that regulated? She's like, we're in the union. I'm like, oh, my God, a union? Which is nice. They have a very good war-fighting history. That's been very good. So it's not like doing a little bit of switcheroo here. Ceremony. Ceremony, it adds steel. From the body to the brain. Oh, here we go. The Greece. Yeah. Willem Alexander Maxima. I didn't know. Yeah. I don't know where that article went. It was such a great article. I can't believe how good of an article that was. Katharina Amalia. Katharina Amalia. Oh. Yeah, it's a monarch. Queen Maxima was a commoner of sorts in marketing. Marketing is good. It's a very important role. If you're a monarch, marketing is kind of a part of it, and they're pretty good at it. So they're welcoming everybody into NATO. And so far, there's been no protests in Holland. There's not like they have much protest there. It's a very, very well-run country. They've had no negative things. The only thing that came out of that would even touch on negative was when President Trump swore that Israel and Iran were just not settling down yet. And his swearing was jarring, to say the least. All right, we got someone. They're not fashionably late. We've been into this for an hour. I don't know about you. I'm having fun with this, and hey, no one else. It's just you, me, and You, me, and the hole in the wall, folks. Trump is speaking. I'll see if I can have, if I can find that. Well, let's look for some quotes from the king first. Let's see. Oh. I'm not a protocol fascist. I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to Google what he said. Oh, okay. I'm not a protocol fetishist. It's more important to me that people feel at ease when I'm with them. Yeah, when he met his wife, he slithered in there and just called himself Alexander, not Willem. Willem is very royalty sounding. Here in the Netherlands, there are towns that take part in throwing of toilet bowls for a laugh. The throwing of toilet bowls for a laugh. They're probably pretty heavy. One has to divide attention between having kids and a full workload. Yeah, well, I'm not some danger level 25. Sometimes it just means flying from Bogota to New York via Amsterdam to have a day with your kids. When we spend time with them, I think to do our utmost best to be really with them, or on vacations, or during weekends, or even breakfast in the morning. That's all we got. Oh, I want to be a traditional king first and foremost, building on the tradition of my predecessors, standing for continuity and stability in this country, but also a 21st century king who can unite, represent, and encourage society. Macron? Oh, look at him. The Frenchman, eh? He really knows how to do the pizzazz. Stops for the cameras. There's no anger amongst these two, or angst. And he's walking very pompous up to the stairs. I don't want to say it, slow and diligent. Macron is on his last leg as president, as he can no longer run anymore, and they're coming up, I believe, next year. So this is his last time to be allowed to be president. It's I don't know about all of his policies, but I think he's done a good as a statesman. The slap not included, but the slap got the French all excited. He was probably being a jerk, said something jerkish, and he got assistance on his behavior. And it was like, nothing overly. He was assisted. Uh-oh. I got a blue screen. Don't talk about that. Bad. Nothing wakes you up like a nice love slap. I bet you he won't say that again. He's like, yeah, I was a jerk probably. I don't know. I shouldn't have said it. I obviously got blue screened. But to sneak in time through history and visit the children secretly, that's what you had to do throughout time. Yeah, he switched with her. He's like, yeah, do you want to meet the delegates? Okay, the cops are back. They may have done a patrol. I don't know. They're moving around. Seems that there's more suited security there. So I don't know what that means. Probably Trump. Security upgrade, right? Trump requires more security. And, here we go. Like good pals. They know each other a little bit. Macron's been in for power for a while. It's been a while, hasn't he, Muggy? Yeah, you've been watching your behavior? Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Of course. Yes, they're definitely... Oh, nice. He smelled her hand. That's what you do. You don't actually... Very warm. They know each other. And she's gushing of familiarity. So they're obviously very familiar with each other. They've had a few dinners. And it seems very high respect for this Dutch family. She knows Macron and likes him. She's looking at him. Nice things. He's been a good statesman. I just can't, and France did a really good job in the Olympics. Like, did you not see the Olympics? How well it was? They had Gaga did pretty good down the stairs. That was really good. I thought it was pretty cool, the masked marauder who was running with the torch throughout the city. I thought it was good. And then the pagan thing at the end. If it isn't controversy, it isn't French. And hiding the gun, I have nowhere to hide my gun in the nude was like, I thought it was very French, and it talked about paganism, thus highlighting Catholicism at the same side, the dark and the light. I thought it was good. I know that got all this controversy, but I was like, wow, I was impressed. And then at the end, that singer with the fireworks and all that, she was like, whoa. It was good. I thought it was really good. And never mind the sports, the Frenchness around it. It was great. I thought they did good. And I think Macron did good. The election. See, that woman is not liking those shoes. They're not comfortable. Macron doing the election prior to the Olympics really got everyone focused on France before the Olympics, which is genius. You got the world, hey, part of your job as a leader of a country is to sell your country, just like Trump says, you know what I mean? It's marketing. And he was doing it. And he did it by doing that. Hey, French politics is full of pizzazz. And definitely there was some pizzazz going on. Okay, I'm going to see if Trump's speaking. You got Trump here. Trump, did he swear? Can't have swearing on the... No? Nope. Nope. Let's see here. NATO. This is live, by the way. Well, at least that's what it said. Yeah, it's live. Oh, okay, so here we got some security guys. Those are definitely security individuals. Well, maybe not. They look like security, though. They look like the secret security kind of thing. And what's this guy do? Don't walk on the red carpet! Jeez. I don't know how he's allowed to do that. Maybe he's got to relieve someone who... her feet are probably going numb. She's probably thinking I should have put those insoles, those Dr. Scholl's in there. Don't talk on the red. Holy Jesus. Like walking on the Queen's grass. Yeah, those are security guys. You can see he's got something in his ear. Relieving of duty. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. I don't know where these two have been on it for a while. The other two, the door assistants. Oh, that guy with the sword didn't know what he was doing there. But he's probably checking up on his people. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Some kind of ceremony. The original security back in the day, that was when people were civil. When all you needed was a guy with a sword who showed he had a proper decorum and was obviously trained and this and that. And that's all you need. People are like, don't mess with him. Look at him. He works hard at being that fastidious. Okay, here we go. We got something happening here. This he must be the head guy because he's got some braids, golden braids. Okay, it's over. That was the last one. Stand here. Stand there. This is the big cheese. Don't mess this up, he says. I have no idea. But he has a swagger like, oh, the red carpet! So hopefully they didn't get any dust on it. Back in the day, you would be in trouble. You can't do that. Only the people who deserve it to touch that carpet. They'd have to put a little bridge over it so they could walk over it when they special carpet. Just looking up here, do we got Trump coming? The NATO Summit defense, time to unite, innovate, and deliver. Okay, this is a statement by Sir Rutte. Unite, innovate, and deliver. Right now, Russia is putting out more artillery shells than all of Europe and America. All of NATO. They put out about 25% as many shells as Russia. Russia's literally, Sir Rutte, Mark Rutte, mentioned, he said, in about 5 years at the current pace, Russia's building a war machine. And in about 5 years, they'll be strong enough to attack NATO because they're building their war machine. Their artillery system is already better than you know what I mean, than all of us combined. And they're 1/20th of the economies, but it doesn't matter when you pay $100 for something and they pay $1. It's just numbers, right? Moscow, the Russians don't pay their people as much, but you can buy a home for a couple $1,000s in these rural areas. It's no problem getting a home in Russia. It's a problem getting a home in St. Petersburg or Moscow, very, very much so, and a couple other places, but not so much in Sochi or all these wonderful rural towns. And they have a military type society, so if you serve, you get a lot of respect. America's like, but much more so. Respect for military family, military members. They get pensions, very small pensions if you live in Moscow, but a livable wage if you live in the rural parts. So there's a lot of fervor in the rural parts of veterans and stuff like that. It's a nice culture if you served. Here in Canada, it's a little. They're like, well, you served, you must be a problem person, right? They have nice attire. These things. I like that guy's, I don't know what they call it, with the tails, penguin. I only know hey, I'm blue collar. I only know the derogatory terms for their nice attire. Very fastidious. So yeah, this is a nice castle. It's very, like I said, it's obviously the castle. I'm going to look to see where it is. Here we are. Exactamundo. Live. Oh, Palace Huis ten Bosch. Oh, really? Really? Bosch is one of the best companies in the world. So I imagine it has something to do with the Dutch family. The Royal Palace Huis? I don't know. I guess Huis ten Bosch. Holy moly. It's closed. It opens at 10. Oh, no, there's one in Japan. They got one in Japan. I don't know what that. Nagasaki. But this one is in the Hague. See? You know why that happened, eh? Because someone walked on the red carpet. You don't walk on the red carpet, folks. You don't do it. Fix it! Everybody in there. See, this is good stuff here. Like, yeah, we should have had those brass bars on this thing, but look at everybody. Oh, look at that guy understands. Nope, don't walk on that red carpet. The one guy knows. Now the other guy's just like, yeah, whatever, I'm doing it. I'm feeling like all the king's horses and all of the king's men put that red carpet back together again. Yeah, that's what happens when you walk on the red carpet. It did not like that. That's called spiritus, folks. Spiritus. We have another red coat, so he's another manager. He looks managerial. They all got out there. That guy knows. The last guy knows. You got to give it a tug. Make sure you got a wrinkle. Get those wrinkles out. These guys are like, that's it. We're standing on it. Imagine that happened while Macron was on it. Slapped him in the face with the red card. That's what happens. Like, you know what, folks, come here. Camera guy. He's like, no, out of the camera. This guy's making sure his shirt's tucked in. Don't you want... Oh, he freaking did it. So they're flanking it. The two guys in the beginning, they're pretty big guys. Nice jackets. I wish I could wear a jacket like that. I think they'd think you were crazy if you wore that out. Or an actor. One and the same, I imagine. So you can look up this Huis, H-U-I-S, Huis ten Bosch. And there is some other parts to it are not so subdued. Oh my goodness gracious. The room that they're taking everybody in, that they're is not. Oh, some snow at the gates. From the gates, it's a wonderful picture. Oh, and they have a little bit of a lake or something. There's a nice walkway around. Pictures of the family. Very nice. Oh, it's very nice. Oh, a nice little bridge, walking bridge. The jet, those are jets I can hear overhead. It's very nice. Very nice. And there's some larger buildings. Larger looking buildings. This is like, I don't know what to call it besides the one entrance. It's the Royal Palace is what it is. Open it up in the maps. I guess I should, that's where this video is taken, so. Gotta change this. Why don't you walk on the red carpet? Because it's only, good morning. It's not for you. The red carpet has meaning to it. I'll get into that in a second. But you don't walk on where the royalty walks. You roll out the red carpet for those that are such royalty. You don't have it for the those that are not given. First of all, in my opinion, before I give you the at least the email ones, it's a honor to give that. To roll it out for somebody, and it's not for everybody. It would decrease its honor. I'm gonna just give me one more second on that. I will definitely give the royal things. Trump, he arrived. He's just arrived on the plane about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Yes, rolling out the red carpet. Is not, the red carpets were a thing, and there's can't say that part. There's some other meanings, deeper meanings. If you close your eyes and think about it, you'll get it. Just give me a second, though. I'm just I'm changing the exact position of this location of video as it's Graven Og Bos, The Hague, Netherlands. Okay. Now you got to go to a royalty site for about this. This is old stuff. Can't just go to any old site. A long red floor covering that is put down for an important or famous person when they go to official visit or special event. It's just like you don't walk on the Queen's grass. It's not for you, it's for the Queen. I didn't find it. Yeah, I will though, don't worry, I'm fastidious on it. In its earliest known incarnation, the red carpet was not intended for ordinary folk, a path of dark red tapestries. Oh, first of all, back in the day, ordinary folk were not allowed to wear colors. They had to wear greens and browns and basically what you call earth tones. If you wore a yellow or a purple or a red, you were designating yourself as an upper class. And so ordinary folk knew that if it was colorful, it was not for you. A path of dark red tapestries was rolled out in ancient Greece. In the Aeschylus play Agamemnon, geez, sorry, I apologize. Agamemnon. When the king's vengeful wife, Clytemnestra, prepares for the triumphant welcome home of her husband from the Trojan War. It's, there we go. Okay, here's a nice royal site. Okay, here we go. The Crimson Path that Oscar nominees, and of course these really 2,500 years ago. It was ever thus in its earliest known. Okay, red carpet. Even the king hesitates to walk on the crimson path laid before him because he is a mortal, a man, and not a god. I cannot trample upon these tinted splendors without fear thrown in my path, he says. And indeed, he comes to a sorry end soon after settling foot on it. Scarlet was among the most prized dyes, as it was the most difficult to make and the most expensive. So you know what I mean? Like I said, the folks, you couldn't wear colors. You weren't allowed to. If you were a commoner. It's interesting that the red carpet has become synonymous with movie stars. It is, yeah. Because they think they're gods. Bollywood is rising, and we got to do something about our famous people. I think we have too many times there's folks that have advantage or winning. The origin in the phrase oriental and intricately patterned in style. Scarlet, of course. Scarlet, we all know this. Who is this Scarlet? Scarlett Johansson is the name that comes to mind. Cochineal or carmine dye was, and still is, made from cochineal scale insect, and was used in the 15th century by the Aztec and the Maya people in the North and Central America for coloring fabrics. They had the red, right? Like the scarlet, of course. So it was very, very expensive. And to keep the prices down, no ordinary schmuck like me could get it. Okay, so South Carolina, the arrival of the U.S. President James Monroe was marked by the laying out of the red carpet to welcome him ashore from a riverboat fantasy. A red carpet has since become the standard addition to high-profile events involving political dignitaries. The origin of the phrase red carpet treatment, meanwhile, is thought to derive from the 20th century. Exclusive express passenger train. So basically, it is for royalty. And it dates back to, oh my goodness. Today, the Oscar of the red carpet is focused on more fearsome media frenzy. Yeah. So there you go. Basically, it's just not for common folk. Now she's a common, and if you are a assistant, oh, what's this? We got vans, we got a police barcade, we got Trump. I don't know what the deal is, but this is real security, folk. They're not military vehicles, but they're, I don't know what that is. But, ordinary folk are not supposed to walk on it. And even the king hesitated to walk on it because the crimson red was for the gods. So there we go. Does that answer your question? Is that enough? Have I delved into it enough? I hope so. Okay. It's just you and me. At least according to my things, it's just one. I have to restart to get the sound. So I think that would be Trump's entourage. Trump has had an assassination attempt. So, of course, now at this point of where they are in... Well, I got to shush. Someone got shushed. And he's right to shush. So it's probably Trump. Trump! And he's right to shush them. It's ceremony time. Very, very good. They are in the center or close to the center in a protected place with no view of the outside, so it's a protected place, protected space. Thus, you know what I mean, there's no... And, of course, they would have all those walk... Oh, yeah. It's a limo. Trump! He's even... I wonder if he flew that limo right from America. Limos! 2! Only one door person? I don't know. Where the two... Oh, saluting. Oh, no, it's the... Holland. Mark Rutte, maybe? He's getting the royal treatment. What's this one? Holland? Cadillac. It's a black Cadillac. Holland and America. What's the number? 800-002. Trump. Well, does he got to open his own door? No way. Oh, wait, no one can touch the doors. But the Trump people, oh, that's why. See, the Americans don't fool around with security, eh? And look at he opened the door. Look at that door. Look at that. There's Trump. Look at that door. That door could take I imagine it could take a missile. No, Melania? Careful of the runners, Trump. Oh, look, he even knows. Thank you very much. He knows how to talk to a camera. That girl is absolutely beaming with smile. I can see her aura like sparks and flares. Okay, Trump, don't walk. Don't touch those runners. He is going a little deeper foot, as an American would. Dangerous. He's living dangerously, getting close to those brass runners. They're not supposed to spin, but they do a lot of times, and that's where the danger lies. So there we go. There's Trump. Very, very. I like that they were shushed. The guys got their swords up. Doors closed. Last man standing was the Don. I think they did a good job. Everybody. Oh, no. At ease, the swords. The one individual. I don't know if the hat is supposed to be tilted like that or he hit himself. I think he hit himself in the face with his sword, and it tilted the hat, unfortunately. He's stressing out right now. I hope this bat don't blow off. I'll be so embarrassed. It's so odd that when you do ceremonies, the minor things that can so heavily stress you. Look at those vehicles. They look like they're partial tank. The tires, I don't think that they would deflate. They have that bubble look of like the wartime, you know. A president leaving the country is a dangerous thing. And I do enjoy how, okay, everyone's going in. All the king's horses and all king's men are going inside to protect the Don again. But it's a lot of, you know what I mean? It's a big protection thing. And they would not trust someone from another country to even open the door for the Don, for the POTUS. And I don't trust his... Oh, she bowed. She knows him. Queen Maxima. Look, they almost look like there's a little bit of, they look a little bit similar. He's like, I like your tie. Yeah, thanks. He's like, oh, Maxima, she likes him. They've met before. There's definitely have met before. I think I can't wait to have dinner. Magnanimous. He's like a magnet. Look at the nice picture of the back. Of course, they're smart enough to not allow sound. We do not want... Oh, and here's our lovely daughter. She just met. For the first time. You can see their aura is very, very pleasant. Wilhelm, Alex, he's a little bit nervous. A little bit nervous, the king. It's funny. America. He has that. What's with the letter? Did someone give him that letter, or is he going to give the letter to someone? Warm. Warm. Oh, it was given to him. It's a special note. Trump likes his notes. Oh, look at this. I like it. Look at these. Don't mess with these guys. They actually look... They look like they're not mess. They do not want to fool around. This is NATO, by the way. Okay, folks. I was excited. Were you excited? All right. Well, I guess I could have got rid of that. But we have... Oof. That was NATO live stream. Visa programming. Lots going on. Oh, NATO is also on YouTube. That wasn't on YouTube, of course, except by me. There's a media. I think that's all we got, folks. We got the Don. We got the Don, and that's about it. NATO also has a Russian language YouTube channel. Oh. I only just laugh, I guess. There was a pre-summit conference. I think I'll put that on. I'll play it for us good old folks.
All right, and then just in front of him.
Oh, wait. I'll make sure it's the most recent one. Mark Rutte does actually, this is an outstanding thing. The arrivals. We have Trump arrives at the airport as well. Trump. There's Trump. Let's do that again. Oh, I know I had that there. Trump. True. Trump. Trump, Trump. Okay. No, sorry, I'm being silly. So this is the entrance of the dawn. There's been a lot going on this NATO. Next, I will put on the meeting. Mark Carney was in. Mark Carney got this really, really good deal. I'll actually start speaking of it now. Jeez, this plain jet engine is very high pitched. You can tell it's old, eh? It needs some oil and like, come on, blaring in my ear. Okay, so we can look up. The deal of deals. The deal of deals. The Prime Minister Carney announced historic steps forward for Canada's relationship with the European Union, the EU, together with President Costa and President von der Leyen. The Prime Minister announced they will forge a new ambitious and comprehensive partnership. The new EU-Canada strategic partnership of the future is rooted in shared values and the rules-based international system, and strategically aimed to pursue common interests. The Canada and the EU will soon launch a comprehensive negotiations across multiple areas to strengthen cooperation and connection, including trade and economic security, the digital transition, and the fight against climate change and environmental degradation. This will create more economic opportunities and long-term prosperity for workers, businesses, and citizens in both Canada and the EU. As part of the new strengthened relationship, Canada and the EU today signed a security and defense partnership, which provides a framework for dialogue and cooperation in security and defense priorities for Canada and the EU member states who are NATO allies. This will also help deliver on capability targets more quickly and economically. This new partnership is the international first step towards Canada's participation in Security Action for Europe, SAFE, an instrument of the Rearm Europe Plan Readiness 2023. It's $1.5 trillion. It's unbelievable amounts of money. Canada's participation in this initiative will create significant defense procurement and industrial opportunities for Canada. In an increasingly dangerous and divided world, Canada's new government is focused on strengthening and diversifying our international partnerships. We will work with the EU and other allies to build a new international rules-based system for a more secure and prosperous world. There's the Don. He's getting the royal treatment here. They're doing a good job. I think Holland is doing it right. Oh shoot. Quote, Canada's new government is a mandate to diversify and strengthen international partnerships. To that end, we took a historic step toward today to deepen Canada's relationship with the European Union through increased cooperation in defense, trade, and commerce. We'll create greater prosperity, security, and stability on both sides of the Atlantic, said Prof. So this is in Belgium. Okay, so there goes the POTUS. Okay. Next up we have...
All right, and then just in front of him, gentleman in the dark suit.
Okay, here we go. Mark Rutte.
Thank you, Daniel, first Western 3 and new Warsaw 24 Ukraine. NATO Ukraine Council will not hold a formal meeting during the summit. Also, according to recent publications from various media, Ukraine, there's a possibility that Ukraine would not be included in final communique of the summit. Don't you feel that the war in Ukraine is being put on the back burner of the summit?
No, to the contrary. So we have one session with the 32 leaders. In the past, you would have sessions with the EU, with the Indo-Pacific 4, with Ukraine. Here we made the choice to have one concentrated session with the 32, and around that session with the 32, many smaller sessions. So you will see the President of Ukraine, but also other senior leaders of Ukraine sitting in various formats with leaders over the next couple of days. So that's what, when it comes to the summit program on Ukraine, EU, Indo-Pacific 4. But when it comes to the meeting with the 32, one meeting with the 32, so that's more like London 29, then Brussels 2019, then Brussels 2018. So we're very focused. When it comes to the support of Ukraine, I don't agree. You will find in the communique, which has now been agreed by the ambassadors, so the North Atlantic Council, you will see important language about Ukraine, including connecting the defense spending up to 2035 to Ukraine and the need for Ukraine to stay in the fight. This is a clear commitment by allies. And the fact that this year, already, not even having reached the half-year mark of the 1st of July, we are now at a total pledge of 35 billion compared to last year. For the full year, a little over 50 billion, shows you that it is rather increasing than decreasing. And I think that's very positive and necessary, because we need to bring that fight in Ukraine, this terrible Russian onslaught, to a durable and lasting peace.
Okay, and then just across the aisle, the gentleman in the light suit.
That's a very...
May I stand up?
With a lot of orange.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Helmut Hetzel, foreign correspondent here in lovely city, The Hague. And I have two questions for you, Mr. Secretary General. First of all, do you have reliable information that the United States managed to destroy all the nuclear facilities of Iran? That's the first one. And the second question is, I go back to the Asian Pacific region, because there's also the conflict between China and Taiwan. And there is the Chinese-Taiwan Relation Act. That means that the United States are obliged to support, even maybe defend Taiwan if getting attacked by China. Is NATO prepared for this worst-case scenario in the Asian Pacific region?
Well, on your first question, I have no news I can convey here. So, I mean, of course, NATO is very much concentrated and watching the Euro-Atlantic. But as I said, individual allies clearly navigating the crisis now in the Middle East, and particularly in close consultation with the American ally when it comes to Iran and the impact it will have on the region. And I already mentioned to you the statements earlier by NATO that we should prevent collectively to make sure, as a world community, that Iran would not get to a nuclear capability, violating the NPT. To your second question, as I said, we have this close relationship now with Japan, the Republic of Korea, Australia, and New Zealand, exactly for the reason that these countries are very, very worried about the massive military build-up China at the moment is taking place. We know that out of the 10 biggest defense companies, only a couple of years ago, you would not find any Chinese companies. At this moment, you will find 3 to 5 Chinese defense companies in the top 10 of biggest defense companies in the world. And this shows you that this massive build-up is taking place and is having a huge impact also when it comes to the defense industrial production of China. And of course, they don't do this only because they want to have nice parades in Beijing. I guess it's there for a reason. And we are all very worried, of course, about the situation in Taiwan. And we also know that there is a risk that if the Chinese would try anything with Taiwan, that no doubt he will call his junior partner, Mr. Putin, and make sure that the junior partner in that relationship with China, Mr. Putin, will keep us busy here, if that would happen. That is one of the reasons why we have to stand ready. And we cannot be naive. We have to be clear on this. And that is why that extra defense spending is so important. That is why NATO does not have, as an alliance, opt-out, side deals, etc. Because we all have to chip in.
All right, second row, blue shirt.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Secretary General.
Morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Jonathan Beale,
Yeah.
BBC News. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to Iran. I know it's not on the agenda, but you raised it yourself. Donald Trump has mused as to whether regime change might not be a bad thing. Do you think regime change in Tehran would be good, or would you say don't go there? And then secondly, NATO has in the past intervened in regions outside the Euro-Atlantic. So I'm thinking of Libya in 2011, in Afghanistan. If Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, it's a hypothetical, but you talked about NATO interests in defending its interests and responding. Would NATO intervene if Iran tried to close the Strait of Hormuz? Thank you.
Well, let me say the following. I have to restrain myself on commenting. Of course, I would love to do that and answer your first question, but as Secretary General of NATO, it is my job to make sure that the 32 allies have what they need to have in terms of spending, industrial production, the support for Ukraine. That's what this summit is focusing on. And anything I would now comment, other than what I said in my introductory remarks on Iran, is not helpful. It is deviating from the core issue at hand. And that doesn't mean that individual allies will not discuss this here. It doesn't mean that individual allies might bring it to the discussion on the table, at the table on Wednesday. Of course that can happen. But it's not why NATO. And when it comes to your second question, it is true that for some years NATO has been active in theaters outside NATO territory. I think maybe the biggest change in NATO since the fall of the Berlin Wall is that we have to reconcentrate on NATO territory, because NATO territory itself is under threat. NATO territory itself is confronted with the massive buildup of Russia, the massive buildup of the military capabilities in China, the fact that North Korea, Iran, China are helping Russia, making Ukraine not into a regional conflict, but really a conflict which is concerning the whole world community, and really concentrate on that.
Okay, we have time for just a few more questions. In the center, fifth row, the woman in the beige jacket.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Bibiana Piene from Norwegian News Agency. Our Prime Minister, Jonas Gahr Støre, today declared that, I'm sorry, I have to go back to Iran, but he today declared that the U.S. attack on Iran is in breach of international law. So I would like to hear your position on this. And also, if I may, what are your biggest fear when it comes to the escalating conflict around Iran? What could possibly happen? What do you fear most?
Now, my biggest fear would be Iran having a nuclear weapon. Really, let's focus on the essentials here. My biggest fear would be for Iran to own and be able to use and deploy a nuclear weapon. It would be a stranglehold on Israel, on the whole region and other parts of the world. And that is why NATO has said Iran should not, and this is a consistent position of NATO, Iran should not have its hands on a nuclear weapon. So, and I would not agree that this is against international law what the US did.
Okay, front all the way left.
Secretary General Latika Burke, The Nightly, Australia. Going back to everything that you have discussed about the integrated threat picture between the Indo-Pacific and the Euro-Atlantic, is it your advice to Indo-Pacific countries that they also raise their defence spending to the new NATO standard?
Well, obviously, let me also here try to limit myself a little bit. I'm already very glad that as an alliance we will decide most likely on Wednesday. There is an agreement in the North Atlantic Council on this to move to get to this minimum of 5% of defense spending. And I think that's great news to deliver all the targets we have set ourselves. Of course, I would not be against our friends in other parts of the world spending more. But for me then to have an active goal on this, I think is not befitting my position.
Okay, we'll come back to this side. The woman in the dark hair and the dark jacket.
Victoria Klipka from TV8, Republic of Moldova. I addressed this question from the part of our media delegation.
Right.
So, as you know, parliamentary elections will be held in Moldova this autumn, and the outcome of the vote will be crucial for the country's future in Europe. Russia has now given up on its plans to stop Moldova on its tracks, and it's utilizing the entire arsenal of hybrid warfare tactics is tested and refined during the last year's presidential elections. So Moldova returns to Russian sphere of influence would be not only dangerous for Moldova, but for the entire region. What is the view from NATO headquarters on the situation in Moldova, and how could NATO and its allies help Moldova to resist this unprecedented wave of hybrid warfare waged by Russia?
Well, I can assure you, from my previous roles, Prime Minister of the Netherlands, we were active helping Moldova as a country, and I'm sure it still continues. As NATO, there is a close cooperation with Moldova on these very practical issues, and Maya Sandu, the president of the Republic, myself, I visited her a couple of months ago when I returned from Odessa, and it was a very pleasant discussion. We are closely coordinating. I know that Romania, our ally, Bucharest, Romania, is of course also very much involved, making sure that Moldova can defend itself as much as possible against the hybrid threat.
Okay, and one final question. The woman in the yellow jacket here.
Thank you for this opportunity. Secretary General, with the war in Ukraine, ongoing and rising tensions in the Middle East, along with U.S. involvement, would you say NATO is facing one of its most challenging security moments? In light of that, could this wider instability also impact the Western Balkans? Should we from the Western Balkans be worried? Thank you.
Well, of course, the Western Balkans, 5 of the 8 Western Balkan countries are part of NATO, including Montenegro, Albania, North Macedonia, and obviously Slovenia and Croatia. So NATO is very much as a collective present. And then, of course, we have in Kosovo, KFOR, and we work closely with the European Union when it comes to Bosnia and Herzegovina and EUFOR. So there are close cooperations, and I'm myself in a sort of permanent dialogue with the President of Serbia, who I know very long, who is a close friend, but at the same time we do not always agree, and it is important to keep that conversation going. So generally, when it comes to the Western Balkans, you can be assured that individual allies, but also as a collective, we are very much focused on that part of Europe. More generally, to your question, I think it is spot on, and it is a very good last question, because let's not kid ourselves. The security situation has dramatically changed over the last couple of years. Of course, in 2014, with the occupation of Crimea, but particularly with the full onslaught in 2022 on Ukraine, and since then, this massive reconstituting of Russia of its armed forces. And at the same time, they working together with the North Koreans, with the Chinese, with the Iranians, and China itself also rapidly building up its armed forces to levels we have never ever seen before. So the international security situation has changed dramatically. And that means that this summit is so important, because what we need to have is that when the call comes to any individual ally to deliver to the collective endeavor what is necessary to defend NATO territory in case of an Article 5 attack, then we have to be sure that all allies are able to deliver those capabilities, what they promised to deliver, so that when that call comes, we stand there together, united, not only in spirit but also in practice. And that is why we have to meet this much higher defense spending goal than we have currently.
All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday afternoon.
Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
just in front of him, gentleman in the
after
dark suit.
80 years of war, peace was agreed. This room bears witness to it. I'm talking about the Peace of Münster, signed in 1648 by Spain and the Netherlands. Behind me over there you can see one of the leaders of the Dutch struggle for independence, Prince Frederik Hendrik. The paintings in this room, the Oranjezaal, were commissioned in his honor. And above him is a Latin motto, which in English says, "The greatest victory is the triumph of peace." This motto seems to me a perfect fit for our alliance too, almost 80 years after the founding of NATO. The Queen and I are delighted to be hosting you tonight in this particular room. Because in 1899, my great-grandmother, Queen Wilhelmina, made this Oranjezaal available for the first Hague Peace Conference. Representatives of 26 countries attended, including the initiator of the conference, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. The participants in those days were filled with the sense that peace would be everlasting. But behind the scenes, the first signs were already emerging of the arms race that would ultimately lead to the First World War. Peace, freedom, democracy, and the rule of law are our highest ideals. And yet history has taught us how fragile these values are if they're not protected. Where would we be without strong organizations that stand up for the defense of international stability, peace and freedom? Where would we be without NATO's firm resolve? For 76 years, a time span of 3 generations, in the North Atlantic Treaty area we have collectively, harmoniously and successfully defended what we treasure the most. At the start, our alliance had 12 countries. Then we grew. Today we're an alliance of 32, with Finland and Sweden being our newest members. In the future, NATO will remain open to new members that share our values. We can't stand still. Events since 1989 have taught us that. Ours is fundamentally a defensive alliance. Others may call it aggressive, but that's only because they reject fundamental rights and freedoms and fear that their citizens may one day demand them. The Kingdom of the Netherlands will never forget the immense sacrifices needed to win back freedom once it's been lost. We've been keenly aware of this ever since the horrors of the Second World War. And we will be forever grateful to the many who fought for our freedom, and in doing so, laid down their own lives. The ties that were forged back then can never be broken. They remain tangible and personal. Last month, I attended a memorial service at the American cemetery in Margraten, in the south of our country. All the graves of the fallen are lovingly adopted by Dutch families who honor their memory. Mr. President, it means so much to us to welcome you in our home tonight. We cherish the bonds of friendship that will always unite our nations. Our friends and partners from the Indo-Pacific region are welcome in our circle as guests. And Ukraine, which for years has been embroiled in a daily struggle, making great sacrifices to defend its freedoms and ours, is welcome too. The people of Ukraine, with whom we feel such close ties, deserve our continuing support. It's impressive to see how we, as NATO countries, have succeeded in forming a shield behind which peace and freedom can flourish. A shield that's providing more and more people with protection. At the same time, every successful organization must always remain alert and have the courage to ask itself critical questions. Are we properly equipped for the challenges we face today? Is the division of costs and benefits amongst us sufficiently well balanced? How can our alliance operate more efficiently and effectively? These questions are especially relevant now that the threat posed by Russia and other hostile countries is taking on unprecedented new dimensions. On land, at sea, in the air, and in cyberspace. It's rightly argued that we need to make sufficient investments in our security and that there must be a balance in the financial contributions made by the members of the alliance. There can be no solidarity unless everyone shoulders their own responsibility. Perhaps, beside Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, there needs to be more focus on Article 3. The provision that says that, and I quote, parties, separately and jointly, will maintain and develop their individual and collective capacity to resist armed attack. These subjects are bound to come up in your discussions tomorrow. I know that you will address them with wisdom and have every confidence that the outcome will be a NATO that is stronger than ever. May future historians recognize the 2025 summit as a milestone. The summit where we made groundbreaking decisions and where we took responsibility together for the preservation of peace, freedom, and the rule of law. Let us stay focused on what for 76 years has been the key to NATO's success: our unshakable unity and our mutual confidence that we can always count on one another. The world must know that we remain as committed as ever to the undertakings enshrined in the NATO Treaty. And I quote, "We're determined to safeguard the freedom, common heritage and civilization of our peoples, founded on the principles of democracy, individual liberty and the rule of law. And we are resolved to unite our efforts as collective defense and for the preservation of peace and security. As long as we uphold this commitment, we can overcome any challenge." And may I now ask to raise your glass with me to our alliance.
Thank you to their Majesties, King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima, for hosting us here in these splendid surroundings. Thank you also to the Dutch government for organizing this NATO summit over the course of 2 days in this wonderful city. I know how much work has gone into the preparations for this event. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has been involved. Of course, I'm biased, as you know, when it comes to The Hague. This is my hometown. But let me say a big thank you to the residents of the city and the Dutch people who have to put up with many restrictions during the summit. But it is all worth it. This truly is a historic summit. Welcome to all allied leaders, including those who are participating in the NATO summit for the first time. And welcome to our partners, the European Union leadership, the President of Ukraine, and of course our partners from the Indo-Pacific, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, and Australia. We have gathered at a crucial time for global security. The world is a dangerous place. We are confronted with profound security threats that span from the Euro-Atlantic to the Middle East to the Indo-Pacific. But I'm absolutely confident that together, with the leaders in this room tonight, we will emerge stronger and make our countries and the world safer. NATO will continue to be a central part of that. Tomorrow, NATO allies will make a very big decision on defense investment that will go down in history as transformational. This will be something to celebrate. These decisions are rooted in NATO's core mission of protecting our 1 billion people and will make for a stronger alliance and a safer world. It will also be a massive achievement in making NATO fairer. For decades, the United States sought to get Europe to truly step up. Now, European allies and Canada will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So let me salute President Trump's long-standing leadership in calling for NATO to increase defense spending. Today, I am pleased to announce that NATO has already added an additional $1 trillion in defense spending over the past decade. Mr. President, dear Donald, that is thanks to you pushing us. And tomorrow we will build on that foundation and add trillions more in defense spending, because we need to do this. We will also commit to expanding our defense industries and continuing our support for Ukraine. We know what is at stake. So there is a lot to discuss. And while this dinner has been organized as a social event, it will help us set the ground for a successful summit. I look forward to fruitful discussions this evening and tomorrow. And with that, I would like to raise a toast to Their Majesties, King Willem-Alexander, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, and thank you for hosting us at this beautiful place.
Hey, that was a nice place. Yeah, it was. I thought that was a pretty damn good job. Oh, that's why I got to have that mode. So yeah, there's another NATO. They're having their cheersings. They're having their dinner. That was live. Trump looked. He was at the table with the Italian Prime Minister and the monarch of the Holland, Netherlands, Dutch. They get all kinds of names, and that was basically that's what we have for today. The big announcement is that the Prime Minister has all kinds of deals. 1.5, basically, the safe is at $1.5 trillion in investments, and Canada's going to get it. We can be in the same deal. So it's very, very, very good deal. Welcome to our businesses selling military procurement. Now there is some. Obviously, there's no competing with China or anybody. It's just only Canada and the European nations that they're going to be buying this stuff from. And imagine America, I would assume, with a large portion of this. But I'm not sure on that. This may be just money amongst these countries to help rebuild. Cars aren't selling as much. China basically it looks to be the new Detroit. Is BYD, Build Your Dreams. They have a city bigger than San Francisco, population and everything. It's just one company and EVs, so that they're going to be able to produce. They're already producing this car for $10,000 with 100% tariff at $20,000. It's still cheaper than all the EVs on the Canadian market. So and their economies of scale are just increasing at exponentially. So once this city is fully gone within, I'd say, another 12 months, it'll be they're going to be able to sell us $5,000 cars. And so we won't be able to compete. Thus will be hard to our industry. So they are building a military industrial complex to convert these car factories and accessory car plants over to, it would seem, the machine. And as security is required, and most likely they will be, through these new factories, modernized factories, they will be building the things of the future, flying cars, a hotel on the moon, maybe Mars. This is the future, I believe, is a happy future. We are going to expand once again. Instead of just spinning water, churning water, hoping we make cream. Okay, this is what I think is greatness is happening. Like, subscribe, and There's only a couple people, so whatever. At least according to my stream numbers. But there's more to follow from this NATO summit, I imagine. The Israelis and the Iranians are holding their peace with gritted teeth. They're not happy about it, but it looks like it's going to hold. It was just a little bit of a beginning growing pain of peace. Everyone hopes and prays it goes that way. Like, subscribe, have a good day.